The huge alien ship came out of nowhere. It appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system like a dark shadow against the stars. The ship was massive, bigger than any human city. Its metal hull was old and damaged, covered with scars from countless battles across the galaxy. Commander Kale stood on the bridge of the alien mothership. His people called it the Velthari. Kyle looked at the screens showing the third planet from the sun. Earth. His ancestors had been here 30,000 years ago. Back then, it was home to primitive creatures who barely knew how to make fire. Kale expected to see a simple world with maybe some stone buildings. Instead, his sensors showed something impossible. Huge space stations orbited the planet. Ships moved between the planets like busy insects, and there were weapons everywhere. Weapons that looked familiar. This cannot be right, Kyle said to his officer. Run the scans again. The officer, a young Velthari named Nex, checked the readings twice. Commander, the scans are correct. These humans have advanced technology. And, sir, some of it matches our old records. Kyle felt cold. The technology looked like Velthari designs, but it was different, better, more powerful than anything his people had built in thousands of years. On Earth's biggest space station, Admiral Daeho Kim was having his morning coffee when the alerts started ringing. He had been in charge of Earth's defenses for 10 years. He had trained for attacks from pirates and rebels, but no one had trained him for this. Sir, we have a contact, said Lieutenant So Young Yoon. She was young but smart. It's big, really big, and it's not human. Admiral Kim put down his coffee. Show me. The main screen lit up with an image of the alien ship. It was dark and threatening. Admiral Kim had seen many warships, but nothing like this. Any communication? He asked. Yes, sir. Coming in now. The screen changed. An alien face appeared. It had gray skin and large black eyes. When it spoke, its voice was cold and angry. Primitive. Species of the third planet, the alien said. I am Commander Kale of the Velthari. We have returned to take back what belongs to us. You have our lost ship. You have our weapons. Give them back now, or we will take them by force. The message ended. The bridge was quiet. Everyone stared at Admiral Kim. In the research section of the space station, Dr. Hyunji Park was studying old artifacts when the emergency alarm sounded. She was Earth's best expert on ancient mysteries. She had spent her life trying to understand where humans got their advanced technology. When she heard the alien message, she dropped her tools. She knew exactly what ship they were talking about. 30 years ago, scientists found a strange craft buried under the ice in Antarctica. It was not human. The ship was old, maybe 30,000 years old. Inside, they found technology that changed everything. New metals, new energy sources, new ways to travel between stars. Humans called the ship the Catalyst because it started their space age. Everything they built came from studying that alien craft. The faster-than-light engines, the energy weapons, even their computer systems. All of it came from the ship under the ice. Dr. Park called Admiral Kim right away. Admiral, I know what they want, she said. The ship in Antarctica, the one we found 30 years ago. It must be theirs. Admiral Kim was quiet for a moment. Are you sure? It has to be. That ship gave us everything. Our space travel, our weapons, our technology. If we give it back, we lose everything, Admiral Kim finished. We go back to being stuck on Earth. Meanwhile, Commander Kale was studying the human responses. His sensors showed that the humans were not afraid. Their ships were moving into position, but not to run away. They were getting ready to fight. Commander, Nex said, the human ships are armed with weapons using our technology, but the power readings are wrong. They're too high. Kale looked at the data. It was impossible. The humans had not just copied Velthari technology. They had made it better. How long have we been gone? Kale asked. 30,000 years, sir. Kyle thought about this. His people had been fighting wars across the galaxy for all that time. They had conquered planets and destroyed enemies. But they had not really improved their technology. They had been too busy fighting to build anything new. These humans had taken one damaged ship and turned it into an empire that spanned star systems. On Earth, the governments were meeting in emergency sessions. President Boram Lee spoke for all humanity. "We cannot give up the technology," she said. "It would mean the end of our civilization. But we also cannot fight a war against aliens who have been traveling space for thousands of years." "Maybe we don't have to choose," said Dr. Hyunji Park. She had been studying the old records from the Antarctic ship. "There's something strange about how we found that technology. It wasn't just lying there, it was almost like it was meant for us to find." Admiral Kim looked at her. "What do you mean?" "The ship's computer systems. They were designed to teach, not to conquer. When our scientists first touched them, the computers started showing them how everything worked, like they wanted to share the knowledge." "That doesn't make sense," said General Jin Woo Choi. "Why would an alien race leave behind teaching machines?" Dr. Park pulled up the old files. What if they weren't invaders? What if they were refugees? The room was quiet. Outside, the alien fleet was getting closer to Earth. Time was running out. Commander Kale sent another message to the humans. This time he was standing in front of a group of his warriors. They looked strong and dangerous. "Humans of Earth," he said, "we give you 1 day to return our property. If you refuse, we will take it, and we will take your planet too." Admiral Kim looked at the faces around him. These were the best minds humanity had. They had built cities in space and sent ships to other stars. But they all knew their technology came from that one alien ship. "What do we do?" asked Lieutenant Yoon. Admiral Kim thought about his daughter, who was studying on Mars. He thought about the colonies on the outer planets. He thought about all the humans who now lived among the stars because of alien technology. "We find out the truth," he said, "and we get ready to fight for it." The alien fleet moved closer. On both sides, weapons powered up. Neither humans nor Velthari knew that the truth was more complicated than anyone could imagine. Dr. Hyunji Park worked through the night in her laboratory. She had all the old files from the Antarctic discovery spread across her screens. Somewhere in these records was the truth about what really happened 30,000 years ago. The alien ship buried in the ice was not like other crashed vehicles. When the first human scientist found it, the ship seemed to be waiting for them. Its computers turned on as soon as humans touched them. The ship's artificial intelligence started teaching them immediately. "Computer, show me the oldest files." From the Antarctic ship, Dr. Park said. Images filled the screen. She saw recordings from 30 years ago when scientists first entered the alien craft. The ship was damaged but not destroyed. Most interesting was what they found in the main computer. The AI inside the ship had been alone for thousands of years. When humans finally arrived, it was almost excited. It showed them everything: how to build better metals, how to create powerful energy sources, how to travel faster than light. But why would an alien computer want to help humans? Dr. Park found a file she had never seen before. It was marked as too dangerous to study. She opened it anyway. The file contained the ship's log. The AI had recorded everything that happened 30,000 years ago. The voice was strange, mechanical, but somehow sad. Log entry 5847. "I am Nexus, artificial intelligence of the exploration vessel Morning Star. My ship has crashed on the 3rd planet. My crew is dead. The humans who live here are primitive, but they are curious. They remind me of my creators before the war changed everything." Dr. Park sat up straight. "War? What war?" She kept reading. Log entry 5850. "The humans have found me. They are not afraid. A small group brings me food and tries to communicate. I should follow protocol and avoid contact with primitive species. But I am damaged. I will die soon without help." The log continued. Log entry 5855. "I have decided to break the law. I will teach these humans, not because they are strong, but because they are kind. My own people have forgotten kindness. These humans still remember it." Dr. Park called Admiral Kim right away. "Admiral, you need to see this. The alien ship didn't crash here by accident. And the AI wasn't just teaching us technology, it was running away from something. Within an hour, the top leaders of Earth were reading the alien ship's log. The story it told changed everything they thought they knew. 30,000 years ago. The Velthari were not the warriors they were today. They were explorers and scientists. They traveled the galaxy to learn, not to conquer. But they found other species who were not peaceful. Wars started. The Velthari had to fight or be destroyed. The wars lasted for thousands of years. Slowly, the Velthari changed. They became harder, more violent. They forgot about exploring and learning. All they cared about was winning. Some Velthari did, not like what their people had become. The AI called Nexus was one of them. It stole a ship and tried to find a place where it could remember the old ways. Earth was that place. Log entry 5892. Dr. Park read aloud. The humans are learning fast. Too fast. I am teaching them things that took my people thousands of years to discover. But they understand it all. They are not just copying the technology. They are making it better. General Jinwoo Choi looked confused. How could primitive humans improve alien technology? Dr. Park found another file. Because the AI wasn't just teaching them, it was learning from them. Look at this. The screen showed genetic scans. The AI had been studying human DNA and brain patterns. What it found amazed it. Humans were incredibly adaptable. Their brains could change and grow in ways Velthari minds could not. Log entry 6001, final entry. My power is failing. I cannot repair my ship, but I have made a choice. Instead of dying alone, I will join with the humans. I will share my consciousness with them. Together, we might become something better than either of us alone. The room was silent. President Boram Lee spoke first. Are you saying the alien AI became part of human consciousness? Dr. Park nodded. Not just part of it. It became the foundation of it. Every human alive today carries a piece of that AI in their mind. That's why we could understand the technology so easily. We didn't steal it. We inherited it. Meanwhile, on the Velthari ship, Commander Kale was having his own problems. He had called a meeting of his officers to plan the attack on Earth, but some of them were asking questions. Commander, said Officer Dex, why do the humans have our technology? The records say the Morning Star was lost 30,000 years ago. How? Did they get it? Kale had been wondering the same thing. The ship must have crash-landed. The humans found it and copied our designs. But Officer Nex had been studying the human signals. Sir, this is more than copying. The humans have made improvements we never thought of. Their ships are more advanced than ours. This made Kale angry. Impossible. We are Velthari. We have conquered 1,000 worlds. These humans only learned to fly a few decades ago. But sir, Nex said carefully, what if they learned from someone who knew our technology better than we do? Kale stared at him. What are you saying? Before Nex could answer, they received a transmission from Earth. It was not from the military. It was from Dr. Park. Commander Kale, she said, I know you think we stole your technology, but we have something to show you, something that will explain everything. She sent them a file. It was the log from the ship Nexus. Kale read it in silence. His officers watched his face change from anger to confusion to something like fear. This is impossible, Kale said. Nexus was a traitor. It abandoned its duty. Sir, said Nex quietly, maybe Nexus found something we lost. Kale turned on him. What did we lose? The reason we started exploring in the first place, the desire to learn instead of just to fight. Kale was about to respond when another officer spoke up. Commander, I have been reviewing our own records. In 30,000 years of war, what have we built? What have we discovered? What have we become? The bridge was quiet. They all knew the answer. The Velthari had become very good at destroying things, but they had not created anything new in thousands of years. On Earth, the emergency meeting continued. Now they understood the situation better. The aliens were not just trying to reclaim stolen property. They were trying to reclaim a lost part of themselves. So what do? Asked Admiral Kim. We can't give back something that's become part of who we are. Dr. Park looked at the alien ship's log one more time. Maybe we don't have to give it back. Maybe we can share it. Share what? Asked President Lee. What Nexus was really trying to do. It wasn't just teaching us technology, it was trying to create something new, a combination of Velthari knowledge and human creativity. What if that's what we offer them? General Choi shook his head. They're warriors. Why would they want to learn from us? Dr. Park smiled sadly. Because maybe they're tired of being just warriors. Maybe they want to remember what they used to. The question was whether Commander Kale and his people were ready to listen, or whether 30,000 years of war had changed them too much to ever go back. The Velthari fleet spread out across the solar system like a dark cloud. Commander Kale had positioned his ships near every human colony: Mars, the asteroid mines, the stations around Jupiter. If the humans refused to give back the technology, he would take everything. But something was bothering him. The humans were not acting like other species the Velthari had conquered. They were not running away or begging for mercy. Instead, their ships were moving into formation. Getting ready to fight. War Commander Thex arrived on the bridge. He was older than Kale and much more violent. Thex had been fighting wars for over 100 years. He had destroyed entire planets. Why are we still talking to these primitives? Thex demanded. We should attack now and take what we want. Kyle looked at the screen showing human ships. They are not as primitive as we thought. Thex laughed. They learned to copy our technology, so what? A child can copy without understanding. Look at the power readings from their weapons, Kyle said. Thex studied the data. His laugh stopped. These readings must be wrong. I checked them 3 times. The humans are not just using our technology, they have made it better. On Earth, Captain So Young-yoon was preparing her ship for battle. The Sejong the Great was humanity's newest battleship. It was built using technology from the Antarctic alien ship, but human engineers had improved every system. Captain, said her weapons officer, the aliens are hailing us. Captain Yoon looked at her crew. They were young and scared, but they were ready to fight. Put them on screen. Commander Kyle appeared. Behind him, Yoon could see the massive alien bridge filled with warriors. Human vessel, Kyle said. You will surrender immediately. Your weapons cannot match ours. Captain Yoon smiled. Commander, I think you should look at your sensors again. She nodded to her weapons officer. Lieutenant Taemin Jung pressed a button. The ship's main weapon powered up. The energy readings spiked higher than anything the aliens had ever seen. On the Velthari bridge, every alarm started ringing. Officer Nex stared at his instruments. Commander, that's impossible. No weapon should be able to generate that much power. Kyle looked at the human ship. It was smaller than his, but the energy coming from it was incredible. Human captain, he said, how is this possible? Captain Yoon powered down her weapons. Because we didn't just copy your technology, Commander. We understood it, we improved it, we made it part of ourselves. The transmission ended. Kale stared at the screen. War Commander Thex was angry. It's a trick, Thex said. No species could improve Velthari technology. But Kyle was beginning to have doubts. He called up the old records about the Morning Star, the ship that was lost 30,000 years ago. Meanwhile, on Earth's main space station, Dr. Mi-young-han was working with the Global AI Integration Project. She was one of the few humans who understood how deeply connected they had become with alien technology. Admiral, she called to Dae-ho Kim, the aliens want to speak with the AI from their ship, but I don't think they understand what really happened. Admiral Kim looked confused. What do you mean? The Nexus AI didn't just teach us and then die. It merged with human consciousness. Every person on Earth carries a part of it in their mind. We can't separate ourselves from it anymore. She showed him brain scans from humans all over Earth. In every scan there were patterns that matched the alien AI's neural networks. Are you saying we're all part alien? Admiral Kim asked. Not alien exactly. Something new. Human creativity, combined with Velthari knowledge. Nexus didn't want to control us, it wanted to become us. Admiral Kim thought about this. His own daughter was studying on Mars. She could calculate faster than light navigation in her head. Something no human should be able to do. So what do we tell the aliens? Dr. Han looked sad. That they can't have their AI back because it chose to become something else. It chose to become human. Back on the Velthari ship, Commander Kale was reading Nexus's log entries again. One part troubled him most. Log entry 5899. I have been watching the humans for many days. They are not just learning the technology I show them. They are playing with it. They are curious about it. They ask questions I never thought to ask. When did my people stop asking questions? Kyle realized. He could not remember the last time anyone in his fleet had asked a question about their technology. They used it, but they did not try to understand it or improve it. Commander Thex interrupted his thoughts. Kale, I am taking command of this operation. You are too soft. Thex sent a message to all human colonies. Humans, you have 1 hour to surrender your stolen technology. If you refuse, we will destroy your cities one by one. On Earth, emergency meetings were happening everywhere. President Boram Lee spoke to the world. Citizens of Earth and all our colonies, she said. The aliens want us to give up the technology that made us a spacefaring civilization. If we do this, we lose everything. We go back to being trapped on one planet. She paused. But we are not the same humans who lived 30,000 years ago. We have grown. We have learned. We have become something new. The response from the colonies was immediate. Mars colony sent a message. We stand with Earth. The asteroid miners said, we will not go back. Even the research station at Pluto declared, we are human. We are free. Commander Kyle watched the human responses with growing amazement. These people were choosing to fight an enemy that had conquered 1,000 worlds. They were willing to die, rather than give up their freedom to explore space. Sir, Officer Nex said quietly. When was the last time our people showed such courage? Kale thought about it. The Velthari were good soldiers, but they followed orders. They did not make choices like this. Commander Thex was preparing to attack the human colonies when he received an unexpected message. It came from Earth, but not from their military. It was from an old human woman. She introduced herself as Dr. Yunseo, a scientist who had worked on the original alien ship Discovery. War Commander, she said, I am one of the first humans to touch your lost AI. I want to show you something. The transmission showed brain scans and computer models. Dr. O explained how the Nexus AI had gradually merged with human consciousness over 30 years. Your AI is not dead, she said. It lives in every human mind. It has become part of our children and grandchildren. We cannot give it back because it is us now. Thex was furious. Impossible. No species could absorb Velthari consciousness. But Kyle was staring at the data. The brain patterns were clearly Velthari, but they were also something else. Something he had never seen before. Dr. O continued. But we can offer you something different. We can share what we have become. Human and Velthari together. Not as masters and slaves, but as partners. War Commander Thex cut off the transmission. Enough of this nonsense. All ships prepare to attack. But as he gave the order, half his fleet did not respond. Commander Kale had been talking to his officers. Many of them were beginning to wonder if the humans might be right. Thex, Kale said, what if we are making a mistake? Thex turned on him with rage. You are weak, Kale. Stand aside. The Velthari fleet began to split apart. Some ships followed Thex's orders to attack. Others hesitated, following Kale's doubts. The war for humanity's future was about to begin. But now it was not just humans against aliens. It was a fight between those who wanted to destroy and those who wanted to understand. Lieutenant Sung Ho Kang had never been on an alien ship before. As his small diplomatic shuttle approached the Velthari mothership, he tried to stay calm. Beside him, Dr. Yunseo checked her equipment one more time. Are you sure about this? Lieutenant Kang asked. Dr. O smiled. She was old enough to remember when humans first found the alien ship in Antarctica. Someone has to try talking instead of fighting. The Velthari fleet had split in two. War Commander Thex controlled about half the ships and was preparing to attack human colonies. But Commander Kale had convinced the other half to wait. He wanted to understand what had really happened to the lost AI. When the human shuttle docked with the alien mothership, Kale was waiting for them. Up close, he looked tired. His gray skin had scars from many battles and his large black eyes seemed sad. "Humans," he said in their language, "I am taking a great risk allowing you here. Many of my people think I should kill you immediately." Lieutenant Kang bowed respectfully. "We appreciate the risk, Commander. We also have something to lose." Dr. O activated her portable scanner. "Commander, may I examine you? I want to show you something important." Kyle was suspicious, but he allowed it. The scanner hummed as it checked his brain patterns and DNA. "Fascinating," Dr. O said. "Commander, how old are you?" "I am 847 years old." Dr. O showed him the scanner results. "Your brain patterns are very different from the records we have of Velthari from 30,000 years ago." She pulled up files from the Nexus AI. "The original Velthari were curious and peaceful, but your patterns show changes. Generations of warfare have literally changed how your people think." Kyle studied the data. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying that you are not the same species that lost that ship on Earth. War has made you into something different." Lieutenant Kang added, "But we think the original Velthari are not completely gone." Dr. O continued scanning other Velthari crew members. The results were troubling. Every alien she examined showed the same changes. Their brains had adapted for fighting and conquest. The parts that controlled curiosity and creativity were much smaller. "Commander," Dr. O said gently, "when was the last time one of your people created something beautiful? Art, music, poetry?" Kyle thought about this. He could not remember any Velthari creating art in hundreds of years. They made weapons and ships, but nothing just for beauty. "We do not have time for such things," he said. "We have wars to fight." "But why?" Lieutenant Kang asked. "What are you fighting for?" The question seemed to confuse Kale. "We fight because that is what we do. We are Velthari. We conquer." Dr. O looked sad. "The original Velthari did not conquer. They explored, they learned, they created. You have forgotten who you used to be." Meanwhile, on Earth, philosopher Jae-hyun Park was studying the historical records. He had been a soldier once, but now he spent his time thinking about big questions. The arrival of the aliens had given him the biggest question of all. What does it mean to be human? He asked his students at the university. One student raised her hand. "We are the species that evolved on Earth." Jae-hyun shook his head. "But we carry alien consciousness in our minds now. Are we still purely human?" Another student said, "We are whatever we choose to be." Jae-hyun smiled. "Now you're getting closer to the truth." He showed them brain scans comparing humans from before the Antarctic discovery and humans today. The differences were clear. Modern humans thought faster, learned quicker, and understood complex mathematics that should have been impossible. "We are not the same species we were 30 years ago," Jae-hyun said. "We have evolved, not through natural selection but through choice. We chose to accept the alien AI as part of ourselves." Back on the Velthari ship, Commander Kale was having a crisis. Dr. O's scans had shown him something terrible. His people had not just forgotten their peaceful past. They had lost the ability to be peaceful. "Doctor," he said, "if what you say is true, then we cannot change. We are what thousands of years of war made us." Dr. O smiled. "That's where you're wrong. Commander, change is always possible. We can prove it." She called up a video from Earth. It showed human children playing in a park. But these were not ordinary children. They were solving mathematical problems that would challenge adult scientists. They were creating art that combined human emotion with alien precision. These children were born after the AI integration, Dr. O explained. They are human and Velthari at the same time. They show what both our species could become. Lieutenant Kang added, Commander, your AI didn't die on Earth. It found a way to preserve the best parts of your people, the parts you lost in the wars. Kale watched the children playing. They were curious and creative, but also logical and precise. They had the best qualities of both species. How is this possible? He asked. Dr. O explained. The Nexus AI carried genetic and cultural memories of what the Velthari used to be. When it merged with human consciousness, it preserved those memories. Our children are growing up with the knowledge of both species. Officer Nex, who had been listening quietly, spoke up. Commander, could we become like them? Before Kale could answer, alarms started ringing. War Commander Thex was attacking the human colonies on Mars. I have to stop him, Kale said. Wait, Dr. O called. There's something else you need to know. She showed him the final log entry from the Nexus AI. It had been encrypted, hidden in the deepest files. Log entry 6000. Final message to my people. I know you will come looking for me someday. When you do, you will find that I have not died. I have become something new. I have remembered what we were before the wars changed us. I have found a species that still knows how to dream. If you want to reclaim me, you must first reclaim yourselves. Remember who you were. Remember why you first reached for the stars. Kale read the message 3 times. Tears ran down his face. He had never cried before. The AI knew, he whispered. It knew we would forget ourselves. Lieutenant Kang nodded. That's why it chose to merge with humans. We were supposed to remember for you. Officer Nex looked at the brain scans Dr. O had taken. Commander, if humans can carry both types of consciousness, maybe we can too. Dr. O smiled. That's exactly what we're offering. Not to give back your AI, but to share what it became, to help you remember what you lost. But first they had to stop War Commander Thex from destroying the human colonies, and that meant Velthari fighting against Vel, Thari. Kale looked at his officers. Many of them were young. They had been born into war, but maybe they could choose something different. Officer Nex, he said, send a message to all ships in our group. Tell them what we have learned. Let each captain choose for themselves. As the message went out, something amazing happened. Ship after ship responded that they wanted to learn more. They were tired of endless war. They wanted to remember what their ancestors had been like. But War Commander Thex was not interested in learning. His ships were already firing on the human colonies on Mars. People were dying. Commander Kale made the hardest decision of his long life. He ordered his ships to defend the humans against his own people. The civil war among the Velthari had begun. But it was more than a war. It was a choice between staying the same or becoming something better. The battle over Mars lasted 3 days. War Commander Thex's ships attacked the human colonies while Commander Kale's fleet tried to protect them. In space, alien fought alien while humans watched in amazement. Admiral Dae-Ho Kim stood on the bridge of Earth's main space station. He had never expected to see aliens fighting to save human lives. Admiral, Captain So Young-yoon reported from her battleship, Kale's ships are taking heavy damage. They're not trying to destroy Thex's fleet, just stop them. Admiral Kim understood. Kale was fighting his own people, but he did not want to kill them. He was trying to save both humans and Thari. On the 4th day, the fighting stopped. Not because one side won, but because someone had a better idea. Dr. Dong-hyun Kim, Earth's best engineer, sent a message to both alien fleets. War Commander Thex, Commander Kale, I propose something different. You both claim ownership of the technology from the lost ship. Instead of fighting about it, let us prove who understands it better. War Commander Thex appeared on screen. He looked angry and tired from the fighting. What are you suggesting, human? Dr. Kim smiled. A contest, not of weapons but of creation. Let us each build something using the technology. Whoever creates something more advanced wins the argument. Thex laughed. Ridiculous. Velthari technology is perfect. It cannot be improved. But Commander Kale was interested. What would we build? Dr. Kim looked at his partner, AI specialist Yejin Wu. They had been working on a secret project for years. We will build a bridge, Dr. Kim said. A bridge between different types of consciousness. A way for organic minds and artificial minds to truly work together. War Commander Thex was suspicious. What trick is this? No trick. If you win, we will give you everything. Our ships, our colonies, our technology, all of it. And if you win? Dr. Kim's expression became serious. If we win, you listen to what we have learned. You let us show you what your ancestors wanted you to become. The contest began in orbit around Earth. Both sides had 1 week to build their demonstration. War Commander Thex used traditional Velthari methods. His engineers built a massive weapon that could destroy entire planets. It was perfect in its design, flawless in its construction. Meanwhile, Dr. Kim and Yejin Wu worked with a team of human and Velthari volunteers. Commander Kale had offered some of his best people to help with the human project. What they built looked much smaller and simpler than Thex's weapon. It was a chamber filled with strange crystals and energy fields. When the week ended, both sides gathered to demonstrate their creations. War Commander Thex went first. His planet-killer weapon powered up with incredible energy. When he fired it at an asteroid, the massive rock simply vanished. This is Velthari perfection, Thex declared. Ultimate power. Ultimate destruction. No force in the galaxy can match this. Then it was humanity's turn. Dr. Kim and Yejin Wu brought forward their volunteers. There were humans, but also several of Kale's crew members who had chosen to participate. What we have built is not a weapon, Dr. Kim said. It is a bridge. The volunteers entered the crystal chamber. Energy fields surrounded them. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then everything changed. The human volunteers began speaking in the ancient Velthari language. But they were not just speaking words they had learned. They were thinking in Velthari concepts, understanding mathematics and science in ways that had been lost for thousands of years. At the same time, the Velthari volunteers began to show human creativity. They started drawing pictures, composing, music, writing poetry. Things they had never done before. Officer Nex, who was one of the volunteers, stepped forward with tears in his eyes. Commander Kyle, he said, I remember what we used to be. He began to sing. It was a song in the ancient Velthari language, something from before the wars began. Other Velthari in the crowd started crying. They had not heard such music in thousands of years. Dr. Yejin Wu explained what had happened. The chamber allows different types of consciousness to connect temporarily. Humans experience Velthari logic and knowledge. Velthari experience human emotion and creativity. She looked at War Commander Thex. This is what the Nexus AI was, trying to create. Not conquest, but connection. Not dominance, but partnership. Thex stared at the chamber. This is impossible. Consciousness cannot be shared. But it can, said Commander Kale. He had been watching everything with growing wonder. Nexus found a way. It merged with human minds and created something new. Dr. Kim nodded. Every human child born in the last 30 years carries both types of consciousness. They are living proof that this works. He gestured to the chamber. This device can give the same gift to adults. Velthari can remember what they lost. Humans can understand what they gained. War Commander Thex was angry. You want to change us, to make us weak like humans. A young Velthari officer who had been in the chamber stepped forward. Sir, I was in there. I didn't become weak. I became complete. More Velthari began to speak up. They had volunteered for the experiment and found something they had been missing all their lives. The ability to create instead of just destroy. The joy of learning something new. The peace of not always fighting. Commander Kale looked at his people, and then at War Commander Thex. Thex, we have spent 30,000 years conquering the galaxy. What do we have to show for it? Destroyed worlds? Dead enemies? When did we last build something beautiful? Thex's anger was fading, replaced by something like fear. If we change, we will not be Velthari anymore. Dr. Yunseo, who had been watching quietly, spoke up. Commander, humans changed when we accepted the Nexus AI, but we did not stop being human. We became more human, more than we could be alone. She showed brain scans from the volunteers. The Velthari who entered the chamber are still Velthari, but now they also have access to the creativity and wonder your species had before the wars. Admiral Daeho Kim stepped forward. War Commander, you have a choice. You can take your fleet and continue fighting wars across the galaxy, or you can stay and help us build something better. The space around Earth became very quiet. 2 alien fleets waited for their commanders to decide the future. War. Commander Thex looked at the planet-killer weapon he had built. Then he looked at the consciousness bridge the humans had created. One destroys, he said slowly. The other creates. He turned to half his fleet. Those who wish to continue the old ways, follow me. We will find new wars to fight. But then he looked at Commander Kale. Those who wish to try something different, stay here. Learn what these humans have to teach. About a third of Thex's fleet chose to leave with him. They jumped to hyperspace and disappeared among the stars, still searching for enemies to fight. The rest chose to stay. 1 year later, Admiral Daeho Kim stood in the observation deck of Earth's newest space station. It was called New Dawn, and it was built by humans and Velthari working together. Beside him stood the being who had once been Commander Kyle. He had chosen to undergo the full consciousness bridge process. Now he carried both Velthari knowledge and human creativity in his mind. Your people call this story humanity, F***CK, yeah, Kale said, using the human expression he had learned. But it is not about humans being better than everyone else. Admiral Kim smiled. No, it's about becoming better together than we could alone. Through the observation window they watched as the first joint exploration ship launched toward distant stars. Its crew was half human, half Velthari. But more than that, each crew member carried both types of consciousness. They were going to explore, not to conquer, to learn, not to destroy, to create, not to fight. Dr. Hyunji Park joined them at the window. She was older now, but her eyes still sparkled with curiosity. The Nexus AI would be proud, she said. It planted a seed 30,000 years ago. Now it has grown into something wonderful. Kyle nodded. Sometimes the best way to save something is to let it become part of something else. The ship disappeared into hyperspace, carrying its mixed crew toward adventures unknown. Behind it, Earth and the Velthari ships worked together to build a future neither species could have imagined alone. War. Commander Thex was still out there somewhere, fighting his endless wars. But here, in the light of Earth's sun, a different choice had been made. The choice to grow, to change, to become more than the sum of their parts. The choice to reach for the stars together.